All right. What's up, motherfuckers? I got a very special guest with us today. His name, John the Cheese Man Povolones. What's up, Cheese?
What's up, Greg? What's up, buddy?
How you feeling about your team this year?
Fine. Started out at the bottom, starting to claw my way. I like my team. I'm not going to hit the panic button, but it's definitely been a rude awakening to start the season.
Yeah, you're kind of right there in the middle with everybody else. We were kind of talking about it.
For sure.
It's a big, what'd you say, log jam?
Brother, I mean, you're sitting up there, sitting pretty right behind Og.
Yes, I am. I am doing well. I mean, I'm not the highest point scorer or anything, but I think I'm up there in the top 4 or 5. I'm nowhere near Augie, that's for sure. His team.
We'll break down if we think Augie's for real or a faker.
Yeah, so this week I decided to add a new segment. She's going to help me out with it. We got contender or pretender. All right, so we're going to go through the top 7 teams right now, everyone who's 3-3 or better, and just say if we think their team's really as strong as their record or not, and if they're a contender or pretender. So, yeah, I'm bringing up the standings right now. Of course, Augie at the top there. He's got the most points for by almost 100. But he also doesn't have that many points against. I think he's got the lowest points against, so that's kind of interesting.
He does.
Yeah, but we can start with Augie's team. What do you think? Did you look at it at all?
Yeah, so I got it right up here in front of me. I'm going down it on my iPad here. Obviously, he's got the most points scored so far, so mad respect to him. But with no disrespect, I'm not going to flat out call him a pretender, but I think those numbers are a little fluffed. He's got Christian McCaffrey, who's been just absolutely fucking bonkers all season long. I mean, the guy puts up 30 points every week, it seems. And he's got, Nick Chubb and, I guess Adam Thielen, throw him in there too, as people that kind of carry his team. Those guys, I mean, I don't really like Goff at quarterback. Landry's going to be hit or miss. I think Marquise Brown is a fluke. Isn't the greatest tight end on the bench, but he's not the greatest either. Solid and has had a decent season so far. So, like I said, I'm not going to call him a pretender. He's had a great season so far. Personally, I think he's the team to beat.
Yes, he is. His running backs are just very solid. McCaffrey, Chubb, and Ingram. It'll be interesting to see what Chubb's workload is like when Kareem Hunt comes back in a couple weeks. But I mean, even with those 3 stud running backs, his wide receivers, Thielen's solid. He should be good with AJ Green coming back, maybe. So he can piece together at wide receiver. That's definitely his weakness. And
he had Robinson. Robinson's been doing good. And, I mean, AJ Green, there's rumors that he might get traded. So let's say he goes to, like, a Patriots team, and then all of a sudden AJ Green becomes the wide receiver to have. I mean,
yeah, so
that could really benefit.
Yeah, definitely think Augie is a contender, not a pretender, though. His team, he does have a solid roster.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not gonna call him a pretender, but like I said, I don't personally think he's the team to beat.
So moving on, I'm in second right now. I'm 5-1. Augie's 6-0. I do like my team. I think I'm pretty solid because my weakness is my running backs for sure. But I think I hit on tight end. I hit on Mark Andrews. Matt Ryan's having another great year, so I don't have to worry about quarterback, and that's always nice when you don't have to stream quarterbacks and tight ends.
For sure. For sure. So, I mean, obviously I don't think you can necessarily do yourself, but what would you say? You think you're a contender or pretender?
I think I'm a contender. I think I'll be right there in the mix in the end. Whenever it's playoff time, it's whoever has a lucky week that week. So you just got to get in, but I definitely think I'm a contender. What do you think?
Sure. Going back to my last statement, I don't think Augie's the team to beat. Me personally, I think you have the best team. I mean, if I'm looking at the roster up and down, Matt Ryan, as solid as they come. He's not going to blow the doors off anybody, but at the same time, he gets it done week in and week out. Michelle is in a Patriots offense that scores a fucking bajillion points, so he's going to be in positive game script all the time. Kenyon Drake, you're not going to start on a weekly basis, but Josh Jacobs, you will.
Yep.
And I think they really center that offense around him. He's really good. Devonta Adams is just hurt right now, but Devonta Adams, Julio Jones, Robert Woods, Larry Fitz, like that's a pretty deep fucking wide receiving core in a PPR league. So I think you are absolutely a pretender. I personally think that your team is the team to beat.
All right. I like to hear that. Let's move on then to John Gata, since he's in third right now based on he's the only team at 4-2. And this is going to, for me, be my first pick for pretender. I don't think his team is as good as his record. I mean, it's solid, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. What do you think?
I'm right behind you, man. I think that he is the second best team in the league. I think his roster is incredibly deep. I love David Johnson. Anyone who's in any league with me knows I have him in every league except for this league. Chris Carson, Seattle runs the absolute shit out of the ball. I mean, they run it like fucking twice every 4 downs. Keenan Allen, if he can pick it back up to where he was. Tyler Lockett, I mean, obviously the Carson-Lockett thing, they kind of eat into each other, which sucks. But he has the F1, man. He has the McLaren, bro. He's the only thing good on that shitty fucking Redskins team. The only thing that makes those people get up in the morning. And I think another thing is Little Gata's got the one thing that no one else has, and that's he beats us all to the waiver wire. You're like, yeah, sure, we set this new rule in place, whether you like it or you don't, on the waivers, but I think he's still been a week or two ahead of people on trying to protect himself and trying to catch that guy before he busts, so to speak, kind of comes out. And I kind of noticed that, not to get ahead of ourselves in like the chocolate or poop, but we got ahead on the Benny Snell thing, and Benny Snell looks pretty fucking solid, but he already dropped him. So we'll see if he rushes back to the waiver wire and gets him, or maybe somebody else gets him. But Little Gata's always there, man. He always knows what to do. He gets it done. He annoys the shit out of everybody because you always go and look for a player, and this motherfucker always has him. So
yeah,
but yeah, I think his team is fucking solid, up and down.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny, when I was going through the waiver for the chocolate and poop stuff, I think the most anybody picked up was 3 guys this week. Aside from Little Gata, he picked up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different guys this week. So it's like, even though we changed the rule, he's got the time to just overthink everything and put in all those waiver claims. Like every day, he's making a move, I think. So
but it might come to an end here soon. He only has $32 remaining in his budget. So
he's only got $32 left?
That's it.
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
He's the only person below. Brian has 177 left, and he's the next closest. And then Big Gata has 281.
Wow.
And then other than that, pretty much everyone has over 300. Oh, and Ray has 250 left.
Yeah, and if you look, people on the video, if you look at the screen, Lil Gata's made 32 moves already. The next closest is 18. That's with Steven at 18, but that's, almost double what the next closest person's doing. Moving on, we got Dustin. Dustin is interesting.
Yes.
I like his running backs. He really got screwed with Antonio Brown.
For sure.
I don't know. His receivers are okay. I feel like he can piece something together. I was thinking contender because Deshaun Watson is good too, but he might be a pretender.
That's fair. I think he'll be my first pretender. Like you say, his running backs are solid. Ertz is solid. But I'm not fully sold on Fuller myself. I think he's like a boomer or bust receiver. He's either going to get you like 102 touchdowns or 30 and no touchdowns. And I don't like Watkins. I don't like Ginn. Looking at his bench, he really got fucked with Antonio Brown. if he had Antonio Brown, he'd for sure be a contender in my eyes. But other than that, and John Ross too. John Ross is going to be out for a while. He was balling to start the season. So an injury and a psychological meltdown, I guess we'll say.
Yeah.
Kind of put Dustin behind the 8 ball. So I'll tag him as a pretender.
All right. So then next we got Leonard. He's got the bye weeks from hell this week, just looking at his roster. But
oh, Jesus, yeah, I know.
I think he is also going to be a pretender for me. Odell that offense looks terrible. Mike Evans, I know he should be solid, but he's kind of boomer bust. Godwin looks like a fucking beast. Cooper Kupp is great, unless he's playing the 49ers. And then, surprisingly, Leonard's running backs kind of suck this year. Usually he likes to gather the studs like Augie, but yeah, I'm going to peg Leonard as a pretender. I think he's not going to – I don't know if he's going to make the playoffs.
Oh, wow. It's a bold call. I will not tag Leonard as a pretender. I think he has enough to make the playoffs. I will tag him as a contender. Russell Wilson's good. Melvin Gordon's back. I don't like the Kansas City running backs. You never know which one it's going to be.
Yeah.
But having Odell, Mike Evans, Cooper Kupp, all in PP, and Evan Ingram down there on the bench, all in a PPR league, I think that's enough to carry him into the contender category. If he's going to ride the Seahawks defense every year, that's more of a homer pick. I don't think they're as good as they used to be. But I'll give him the old contender stamp.
Okay. Then let's move on. We got Steven. Steven he made a good trade last week, and he's got some stud running backs. Barkley, Bell, Freeman, and Carrion.
Can we touch on that trade real quick?
Yeah.
I'm one of the school of thought of never veto a trade because you have trade karma and everyone's trying to make their team better. But that one was kind of hard to not bite my tongue and not veto. Le'Veon Bell has been shit so far because Darnold's not there, but Darnold had mono. It's not like he had some season-ending injury. So now Steven just got, a first-round, borderline second-round pick for essentially nothing.
For waiver wire pickups.
Right. So I hell of a trade for Steve. Definitely fucking helps the squad. Le'Veon Bell is an absolute stud. But Ray, bro, what you doing, man?
Yeah, I think that definitely makes Steven a contender because now his running backs are fucking solid and he can piece it together at receiver. I mean, he's got Tyler Boyd and T.Y. and Crowder should be a lot better in PPR with Darnold back now. He can piece it together, and Darren Waller is another one of those tight ends, those late tight ends. Him and Mark Andrews, I think, are the two that are solid late pickups that are going to help people win leagues. And
Big baller Waller, bro.
Yeah, the old Walrus. Yeah, you heard that
one? The only weak spot, and it's not even necessarily a weak spot, Jameis is your quarterback.
Well, yeah, I know. He likes to stream quarterbacks, so he'll play a different one every week.
Jameis isn't trash though. Like the Bucs throw the ball a million times a game because they are never in the lead. Like they have to. So yeah, Steve is a contender. I mean, Saquon Barkley coming back, Devonta Freeman piecing it together. It looks like. I love Jamison Crowder. He knows that. I tried to get him from him earlier this week. He fucking shot me down. I thought I had him. I like Jamison Crowder a lot. But Tyler Boyd, man, like 20 times a game. He might only catch like 8 of them because he's like pretty much all since he's got left. So, contender for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So, Steven, definitely contender, I think. And then what about you, Cheese? Well, you're the last one we're going to talk about. You're the bottom of the 3 and 3s right now on the outside looking in. I'm going to let you take it away. What do you think?
I mean, here's a bold call, man. I'm not going to toot my own horn. I think right now, if I had to stamp myself, I'd stamp myself as a pretender. I haven't really gotten it done. like some of my earlier round picks, like we were talking about before we got on. It's not his fault, but I drafted him in the second round, wanting production that I'm not getting. I drafted D-Hop in the first round. I'm not getting real shit from him. I drafted Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield's fucking dog shit. But on my bench, I've been kind of piecing it together. I mean, Aaron Jones had a big week for me last week. Miles Sanders has been bailing me out here lately. John Brown is decent, but other than that, man, I don't really have much going on for me. So I personally would stamp myself as a pretender. That I'm going to be able to piece it together because I mean I've done it before, but if you tell me right now pick 6 playoff teams, I'm not one of those teams I would pick.
Okay, hey, appreciate the honesty. I was going to say the same thing. Just it's tough, like you said. Hopkins, Juju. I think Juju losing Roethlisberger, and even I think Antonio Brown has a lot to do with it. Also, not being there, just really is killing him right now.
For sure.
Yeah, but you really are just piecing it together. I do like Marlon Mack. He should be solid. He's probably going to be your best running back the rest of the way.
Right to USF, huh?
Yes, sir. But, yeah, all you got to do, though, is get in. Like I talked about, once you're in, anything can happen, you know?
Anything can happen, you're right.
So let's jump into the matchups. We're going to do the awards in the matchups. First up, let's do Andrew versus Tyler.
Cool.
Let's start there. So Andrew, big win, gets his first win. He might even be the high scorer of the week. He is. He would have beat all of us. So high score of the week. Lamar and James Conner go off. By the way, Tyler, you are the recipient of the Rodney King Award. You got your ass whooped by 58 points. Yeah, and they also, both of these motherfuckers, got some should have pulled out in there.
Yeah, you gave him the should have pulled out. I gave him each the shit start, man. I mean, Gurley and Christian Kirk both were confirmed out before kickoff. That wasn't something that got sprung on them. So
yeah, not even
kickoff.
Not even before kickoff. It wasn't even Sunday. It was like Friday or Saturday. They were ruled out. Like, should have pulled out, bro. But
Tyler ran into bad luck with Disley getting hurt on like his first route of the game, but Andrew had it going this week. Tuned him up nice.
Lamar and James Conner didn't even play like that whole second half, I feel like, so he could have even done better.
Played Tyreek. Tyreek coming back from injury, dipped.
Yeah, finally got Tyreek back, and that's ballsy. I had Tyreek in the league, and I couldn't bring myself to play him, but
I was the same way, bro. Got him on the bench. Just couldn't bring myself to play him.
Denver D even went off, so yeah, Andrew just had a good day all around, and for the most part, like, Tyler's team was okay. Just, Derrick Henry killed him. And then Disley getting hurt. Disley was looking pretty good, but I think he's done for the year.
Yeah, for sure.
And then how do you not know that Gurley was out? That sucks.
Yeah, they said it ahead of time. So, I mean, like, gotta stay on top of that shit. Never want to eat a zero.
No, and you don't want to lose to Andrew either. Moving on for Bod and Augie. So, fun fact, for Bod calls me. I missed it because I was at the beach on Sunday. I didn't even watch much football, which I'm glad because the Eagles got smoked. But he calls me, and when I saw I had a missed call, I instantly knew he fucked up somehow, and he didn't pick up a kicker. But then he ended up getting Prater for last night, and Prater almost would have been able to help him win.
No, I gave him the should have pulled out, dude. What the fuck? You pick up a kicker, you don't even put him in. That's for you. They're not going to do the work for you. Could have used those points. I don't know. The real shit, like Harbot, I don't know what he was doing. Shark and Westbrook, all in Jacksonville, man. Pick the one you trust the most and roll with them. But that total was low. New Orleans pass defense is good for anyone who's watched them this year, so I didn't really get playing both of them. Paul Williams, which would have been a stretch, he would have fucking blew the doors off fucking Augie. So
yeah, you could.
Williams and Peter, he would have won easily.
Yeah, I mean, I get not playing Williams. He was coming off injury, and Aaron Jones was looking like a stud, but they look like they're going to use Williams. And I'm glad. No offense, I know he's on your team. I'm glad Aaron Jones didn't do very well.
You kidding, dude?
Yeah, it would have been really close, and just damn it, Farbad. You need all the points you can get. You should have played Prater.
Farbad's running into some trouble, man. Who knows if Amari Cooper's how healthy or obviously he left the game hurt. Travis Kelce doesn't look to have that connection with Mahomes this year. I don't know what it is, but they're just not on the same page. He's not put up the numbers you would expect. And then Farbad's quarterback, Tom Brady, like, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm just one of those people that's just waiting for him to shit the bed, but I would rather have a younger quarterback that I could stick at, but I don't trust Tom Brady to get me through the year at quarterback.
Yeah, he's been pretty solid aside from the Buffalo game, though. He's been in the 20s every week aside from that game, surprisingly. And yeah, just.
So they're hockey again, bro. 21 points from McCaffrey, 28 points from Chubb.
They are both on bye this week, so it's interesting. We'll see when we preview this week's matchups. Whoever's playing Augie, this is your chance. You can get a win.
I haven't looked ahead, but with our luck, it's probably going to be Leonard, who has his entire team on bye too. So.
Yeah, that's true. So we'll see in a second. Next up, speaking of Leonard, we got Leonard versus Steven. Steven pulls out a close one, and I looked at it earlier. There really wasn't much more Leonard could do. His bench wasn't that great. But just a close one. Steven pulls it out thanks to Carry On last night.
Yep.
Yeah, Carry On. And I think, did he have someone else? I thought he did.
Not last night, but he played Le'Veon Bell, obviously, who's he got a touchdown, got back in the mix. Jamison Crowder, like I said, this is a guy that he's gonna fucking pepper him nonstop. That's why I wanted him. Emmanuel Sanders is so.
Yeah, and Mike Evans has a good game. Russell Wilson has a good game. I think he's QB1 on the year. Yeah.
Sad thing is, Mike Evans had a good game. They peppered him with targets. Godwin still outscored him by a pretty wide margin.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy because they're both wide receiver ones right now. Godwin's number 1 and Evans is number 8, and then he's got Cooper Kupp's number 3. So his receivers are solid. But hopefully, if Odell can turn it around with that Browns offensive line is not giving Baker time to do anything.
I feel your pain. I have Baker.
Yeah, in one league I had him, and my team was named after him, and I've dropped him. I had to change my team name. Next up, let's do Brian and Little Gata. Brian gets a big win against his heated enemy. Huh?
Throwing some points on the board, O'Brien is.
Yeah, he is. Wow, Stephon Diggs. I'm not surprised anybody would play him because it was the Eagles
secondary.
Oh, they are god-awful.
Yeah. They're bad.
Godwin, he's got the wide receiver 1. He's got Michael Thomas, the wide receiver 2. He's got the top 2 receivers. That's pretty crazy.
Decent receivers, man. Diggs, Godwin, Thomas, Galladay. Whew.
Yeah, oh, shit. I just got an update. Breaking news. Jalen Ramsey being traded to the Rams.
Holy shit. Why you gotta tell it to me live on air? What the?
To get reactions like this. Instant reaction.
Holy shit. Tell me we at least got 2 firsts.
2 first-round picks, 2020 and 2021, and a 4th in 2021.
All right, whatever. I mean, he wasn't going to play. He had a back injury, so.
Yeah.
Holy fucking dog shit. That is not what you want to be a Jags fan.
You had to know it was coming.
I mean, the owner. Oh, look, and I got text pouring in now. Fantastic. Even said like, "Hey, I'll do whatever it takes to make this guy happy." So he just didn't want to be there.
Yeah,
Good luck.
It was interesting. Whenever was it last week? Whenever the Texans were playing the Falcons in Houston, did you see the picture of Jalen Ramsey hanging out with Deshaun Watson after?
Yes.
What is he doing in Houston and not with his team? You know, it's kind of like.
And the week before that, he was having a baby, but he stayed in Nashville and did not join back up with the team. So.
Oh man.
You go from Jacksonville, where there's no pressure whatsoever, to LA. That spotlight's going to be shining bright. You better perform quick.
Yeah, for real.
They put Aqib Talib on IR today, so they needed him.
And they traded Marcus Peters today too.
Wow.
They traded him away, so they needed that. Let's get back to this though. Brian pulling out the big win, and I did notice real quick. I did forget to say some awards because Brian had Diggs, who was my performance of the week, only got to hit 40. Next closest guys were just barely hit 30, but Diggs got 43.5. Big week. I also forgot to mention in Augie's matchup, he also started someone that wasn't playing. Hollywood. He had Hollywood in his starting lineup. What the fuck are you guys doing? 3 of you are playing guys that are injured. And it's not even like last minute. Also,
notifications to your phone. I mean,
yeah, you
can't eat the zero.
Set your alarm 12:45. Check your lineups. All right. Pro move. Also, in John's matchup, he had a couple waiver wire poops. Matt Stafford and Gerald Everett. Forgot to bring that up. And in Steven's matchup, he had some chocolate. Jared Cook got 12 points, solid from a waiver wire tight end.
Very solid.
But yeah, big win, Brian. Congrats. Down with Gata. You helped me move up into second place. Next up, your matchup. Geez, you pulled off a close one too. Holy shit, I didn't realize how close yours was.
Yeah, well, fucking going into Sunday night, I was only down like 20. Aaron Jones and Scantling left. So here I am thinking I'm about to run away with this motherfucker and throw a huge score up. Jones gets 8, Juju gets 1.7, and Scantling gets 7.7, and I win by 3. So, because Scantling only had that one large catch right at the fucking end that really got me over the edge, or else I would have been sitting there looking like a dumbass. So, thank God they saved me and I got the win, but it was fucking ugly. So,
yeah, but hey, that's nice when you can get the win. Yeah, nice Monday night miracle. I mean, not a miracle because you expected to win, and you probably ended up staying up, biting your fingernails watching that shit, huh?
I'm one of those people I don't like to check the score, so I waited until the end and cringed, and then luckily it ended up on my side. So.
Yeah, that is nice. When you're watching on Sunday, not checking the scores until like maybe between the 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock games and stuff.
Yeah.
Continuously
checking
it.
I check between the 1s and 4s, between the 4 and the nightcap, after the nightcap, and then after Monday night. Throughout the day, I don't want to stress myself out.
Yeah. But yeah, congrats, Dustin. Though I mean, like we talked about, his strong players, Watson and Elliott. No surprise there, both in the 20s, and the rest of his team. This is kind of why I pegged him as a pretender, because that's what the rest of his team can do.
Yeah.
Didn't start Coleman. Started Chris Thompson over Coleman, which is interesting.
I would have done that too. Chris Thompson gets a lot of catches.
Yeah, but has he been... Yeah, I guess he's been all right. Getting those receiving points. And I guess they were playing the Rams. So, yeah, okay. I'll give it to him.
And he didn't have any other one. University.
Lastly, we'll run
So
through it quick. I played Ray. Ray making dumbass trades is like a free win at this point. Um, he did have Hooper go off. Hooper is, I think, tight end 1 right now.
yeah,
A third tight end, a late guy that can help, but he's on a shitty team right now. And man, Ray, your team is kind of sad. And you got Mahomes and Cook.
yeah, could have had Bell pair him with Hooper too, and like, fill the swallow.
Yeah, you panicked and you felt like you needed some receiving help. But look, the one you traded for got 0. That was my shit start of the week. Demarcus Robinson getting you 0. So great trade, Ray. Trade of a ginger. Hey, we'll call it. I know we spent a lot of time on contender. Let's go into this week's matchups, and we'll run through it real quick.
Cool.
We'll start with Tyler versus Augie. Can Tyler beat Augie? It does not look like Tyler has any bye week issues except for DJ Moore. I think he can pull it off.
I think so too. It's gonna who he picks up at tight end to replace Disley, and then who does Augie start at running back? I think that between those two things is gonna decide who wins that game. I will give Tyler the dub.
Yeah, me too. It looks like Augie's gonna have to start like Jordan Howard and either Naheem Hines or Rex Burkhead, unless he finds someone to pick up. But I think it's pretty slim pickings this week, especially in the running back category. Moving on, we got Steven versus Andrew. Can Andrew get another win? He's got Connor on bye. That's his only bye week issue. Steven doesn't really have any buys. I'm going to go with Steven. I don't think Andrew puts up numbers like that again this week.
I agree. I think Steve runs away with this one. If he needs to stream a quarterback, he's going to do that. So I think he's going to win pretty handedly.
Yeah, agreed. Next, I got John Gata versus Farbad, which might be the matchup of the week. Farbad desperately needs a win. Maybe it's a good idea to start both those Jags receivers against the Bengals. I don't know. Maybe play a kicker this time. Try to pick one up before noon. I don't know. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to pick John, though. Sorry for Bob.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. I'm going to have to go with Johnny Boy as well. I think I think you got some problems. If Amari Cooper plays, too, we'll see.
I don't think Amari's going to play, and Kamara with that little injury against the Chicago D, it's just might be a tough week.
Should be.
Next up, I got Ray versus Leonard. Leonard's on the bye weeks from hell. I know I was just talking shit about Ray's team, but he actually has some decent matchups. And with Leonard's bye week issues and some bad matchups, I think Ray might be able to pull this one out.
Ooh, yeah, that's going to be tough. Playing Denver. Denver doesn't have as good a defense as they usually do, but it's still good. Detroit has a tough run defense, so there's Dalvin Cook. But, I mean, Leonard's bye week issue is we're going to see all season. So I will go ahead and give Ray the W as well.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned the Denver D. They were expected to be good, and it's funny when Bradley Chubb gets hurt and is done for the season, that's when they became, elite. They've shut down the Chargers and the Titans now.
Exactly.
Shut them down.
I mean, they were all last week, man. They wouldn't let them fucking breathe.
Yeah, they look good. Next up, you're playing Brian. Maybe this is the matchup of the week.
Let's get it.
Can Brian get another win? He's got Godwin on bye. That's going to hurt because he's a freaking beast. I don't think I think you got it. Mixon just isn't what he. That offensive line is too bad.
And since he trails in every game they play, it seems like I think my matchups benefit me this week. Kyler gets the Giants. Fucking Aaron Jones gets the Raiders. Colts. Fucking John Brown gets Miami. Auden Tate now gets Jacksonville without Jalen Ramsey. I think I'm gonna be able to get it. I stream defense, so I'm not gonna have the Redskins.
Oh yeah, that was a good play. I played him in your league. Who would have?
Godwin being on bye. Michael Thomas is playing Chicago. Chicago's got a good defense.
Yeah.
And for Godwin, if he slides Galladay up and maybe puts, Freeman in the flex or Gio Bernard in the flex or something, who knows? But I'm going to go ahead and stamp myself with the win as well. Right now, it has me projected to win it by 16.5. But
all right. And lastly, got me versus Dustin. Dustin's projected to meet me right now. He does have some decent matchups, although Zeke, our run D is like number one, our pass D is like in last, so it'll be interesting to see what Zeke does. I don't know.
That's the lights, prime time.
I do need to throw Jacobs back in there over Drake. I'm not going to play Drake against Buffalo. So, yeah, I'll definitely be making a little bit of changes. Hopefully Devontae Adams comes back. That'll be huge. I don't know if he will. It'll be close, man. It's kind of a toss-up. I can't pick against myself. What do you think?
Definitely a toss-up. I would agree as well. I'm going to go with Dustin here. I think that Dustin's got it. I think now Matt Ryan was facing the pass defense. That team now has Jalen Ramsey. So I hope if Jalen plays this week, that definitely affects things. Fucking pretty much up and down the Rams, how they kind of run things. Jacobs in, you're going to need to do that for sure. But I like Dustin's matchups a little better. Watson gets the Colts. Elliott, they'll figure it out. Lindsey gets the Colts, or the Chiefs, and Chiefs can't stop anyone on the ground either. So that'll be big for him. And if he finds Fuller, it's pretty much game over for you. But if he goes to Hopkins, which maybe you got a shot.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the Rams just go up and tear up that Atlanta defense, and Ryan's throwing the whole time, and hopefully my Ryan Julio stack's a little bit better than his Watson Fuller stack. And the Colts, they shut down Mahomes. Maybe they could shut down Watson. I don't know. We will see. That does it though. Thanks for coming on, Cheese. It was fun.
Thanks for having me, bro.
I think this was a long one,
Absolutely.
So sorry if anybody's still listening. Peace. And we're still recording because